Have you ever seen the movie Titanic? Have you thought about how the people felt and what kind of thoughts were going through their heads while the Titanic was sinking? Well, let's imagine going on a cruise to escape the cold months of the year, when all of a sudden things take a turn for the worse. Something goes wrong and now the huge ship you're on begins to sink. So many thoughts are speeding through your head when you realize that these moments and these thoughts could be your very last moments of your life. This is what the 1,517 people who passed away from the sinking of the Titanic went through. I am able to present this information to you today because I have done quite a bit of research on the Titanic. The purpose of my speech is to inform you about some things you may not know about the Titanic. Today I will be informing you about the Titanic itself, the Titanic setting sail, and also the Titanic sinking. First, I would like to talk about the Titanic ship itself. According to History.com, the Titanic was 882 feet long, 170 feet tall, and weighed 46,000 tons. She was designed to carry 64 lifeboats. She had 20 boilers and 162 furnaces. She burned through 650 tons of coal per day, cranking out 16,000 horsepower. Her top speed was 24 knots. She had 4 smokestacks. They were each 22 feet wide and 6 stories high. It took her 3 years to build and also 3,000 people. On the Titanic, there was a swimming pool, a gym, a Turkish bath, a photography darkroom, and also 3 cigar rooms on board. Second, I would like to talk about the Titanic setting sail. According to eyewitnesshistory.com, the Titanic departed on April 10, 1912 from Southampton, England, and was heading to New York, New York. She was supposed to make her arrival on April 17th. There was 2,240 people on board, but lifeboats for only 1,178 people. There were 325 first-class passengers on board. There were 285 second-class passengers on board. There was 706 third-class members on board. And there was 885 crew members on board. Also, there was 7 dogs on board. Finally, I would like to talk about the sinking of the Titanic. According to history1900s.about.com, the iceberg made a hole about 220 to 250 feet long into the hull. At 11:40 p.m. on April 14, 1912, the Titanic hit an iceberg at 22 knots. Water was rushing into the Titanic at about 7 tons per second. On April 15, 1912, at 2:20 a.m., only 350 miles southeast of Newfoundland, Canada, she sank into the North Atlantic Ocean. She was 2.3 miles below the ocean. The water was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. She only had 20 lifeboats on board, which could only carry 1,178 people. Each lifeboat could carry about 65 people. The first lifeboat left with only 28 people on board. Only 16 lifeboats successfully made it out of the Titanic, and there was 472 spaces that were left unused. In the first class, 60%, which was 202 people, lived. In the second class, 42%, which was 118 people, lived. In the third class, only 25%, which was 178 people, lived. And crew members, less than 25%, which was 178 people, lived. Only 2 of the 7 dogs lived. Altogether, 1,517 people passed away. Only 706 people lived. In conclusion, I would like to remind you that the purpose of my speech was to inform you about the Titanic and all her interesting facts. I have informed you about the Titanic itself, the Titanic setting sail, and also about the Titanic sinking. Again, I did a great amount of research on the Titanic and thought it would be a fantastic topic to talk about. Now, if you're a little nervous about going on a cruise, don't be. There is so much more technology that is upgraded that I don't even think that the sinking of your ship would have to be worried about. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.